What you're looking at is the cover of the magazine The Economist from 2015. Much like the murals at the Denver International Airport, also much like a card game from Steve Jackson. This magazine, the covers on this magazine for many years, has been used like a spiritual storyboard. Satan's minions work as a hive mind. This type of predictive programming is spiritually placed for the public as they adhere to occult law, much like a vampire having to have your permission to enter their home. This is in essence their way of gaining permission by the people to perform their spells. So let's take a look at the new cover of The Economist magazine and see what they have for us. What you're looking at here is the holiday double issue of The Economist for 2022 and 2023. And when I first laid eyes on this, there's several things that really stood out to me. I'd be interested to hear your perspectives as well. So here we're taking a closer look at the cover of The Economist magazine. And the first thing that stood out to me is if you look up in the corners, both left and right, you'll see the 8-pointed star, and that's a representation of Lucifer, the 8-pointed star of Lucifer, also known as the 8-pointed star of Ishtar. Many of these symbols when it comes to the occult and the esoteric will have multiple meanings, but typically you'll find the 8-pointed star referencing Lucifer. Instead of the pentacle on top of the tree, we have the atomic symbol, possibly an atomic Christmas. Many of us are aware that nuclear devastation is at our doorstep. And this is not something that's going to be avoided, unfortunately. This is prophecy playing out. Over the last several years, many people have had dreams and visions about nuclear war, specifically things taking place here in America, and even more specific, an attack on New York City. A nuclear bomb going off near New York City and causing a tsunami, a nuclear bomb that goes off just outside of New York City, and it creates a tsunami that completely wipes out the city. And this is also on money. Money itself, the paper, the money, are also spiritual storyboards. They took a piece of paper, they wrote their plans on it, the New World Order, and they called it money. And on American currency, you can actually see New York City being wiped out by a tsunami that was caused by a nuke. They also have the entire story of the destruction of New York City and the rise of the Antichrist on St. John's pillars, which are also in New York City. So we have an atomic Christmas, perhaps. And just to the sides of that symbol, we see the beasts. And you have one of these horned beasts with the star of Lucifer on his side, so perhaps that is an actual symbol for Lucifer himself or the Antichrist. To the left of that, you have the skull, or death, because death is definitely on the menu. There's going to be a lot of death coming during the tribulation. We go over to the right, under the other beast, and there's the pentacle, which people are typically placing on top of their tree, and the pentacle has absolutely nothing to do with Jesus Christ or holiness. If you go back to the tree, and you look right underneath the atomic symbol, you've got the pentagram. You may say, no, but that's just a star, but you see how one of the legs is extended just a little further than the rest. It's because that's the point that's considered down. So there's the pentagram, and I'll show you another place where they do this type of thing as well with the star. If you weren't aware of this, now you will be, and I'm sure you'll start seeing it more often. Just pay attention when you'll see a star on any kind of a corporate logo. Pay attention to if it's tilted or not. So when it tilts, just like the one here on Carl's Jr., that's supposed to be a representation of the pentagram. As we move further down on this cover of the magazine, we get a clearer picture of the actual tree. If you take a look at the tree, there's a 666 right in front of your face. On both sides of the tree, there's 6 branches, and on the very top, there's 6 candles. So that's one of the easy ones. 666 right there in front of us. What you're looking at is the 12-pointed star. The 12-pointed star is also a symbol for the Kabbalah. Now, if you look at the very bottom of the picture, in the very center, you'll find that 12-pointed star. No surprise that it represents the Kabbalah, because this is all magic that we're dealing with here. And then on the left-hand side, it's mixing iron with clay, I believe, where you see the human and something going on inside the brain. It's just my perception of it, but I believe that has to do with the potion that so many people are taking right now, and how it really is changing humanity from the inside out.
That black shit moves. It has a will, an attitude. It bites.
Release the Kraken!
Blood-brain barrier is a major obstacle for nanoparticle drug penetration to the brain, which could be overcome by the use of ultrasound.
And those are my perspectives on this cover of the magazine. It'd be interesting to hear what you guys think, and maybe you found some things that we didn't. And this is something that not everyone's going to have the eyes to see or the ears to hear, but those of you that do clearly see what I see, I'm sure. And we understand that this is how Satan's minions work. This is how that hive mind works. Oftentimes, they're completely unaware they're putting these symbols together on things, and then sometimes they are aware and they do it on purpose, like gangs sending out symbols to one another. secret messages.